don't care what kind of mood I'm in. When I hear that little voice say, "You ready to get beat down?" I can't help but laugh. What's going on, family? It's a little after 11 p.m. East Coast time. Therapy session. What you got, bro?
Man, I ain't got nothing, bro. Just happy to be here, man. Happy to get some therapy in this evening. Long day, man, but we here. So what's happening?
Hey, I mean, we're having a better day than Daniel Snyder right now. I can tell you that much.
Oh wow, please fill me in because I think I missed it.
Well, he has now decided that they're going to release the name, um, as my dad says, Red Negroes, but he doesn't say Negroes, Redskins, and they're going to actually get a new one. He made that official today. So they're no longer known as the Washington Redskins. And, I mean, he's held on to it for so long when all of your sponsors, including the group that has the name on your stadium, says you need to change this. You don't really have a chance at that, a choice at that point.
What I found interesting about that is this isn't the first time this has happened. He's faced backlash from his investors for a few years about this. He's just kind of held on and just kind of stayed committed to it. But I think when FedEx, and this is weird because he's the owner of FedEx, right? If I'm not mistaken, the majority shareholder.
One of the guys who's part owner in his team is the CEO.
Oh, okay. Well, now it makes even more sense. I think when they came out and said they're going to pull their sponsorships, I think that's when it really hit home for him.
Well, they said that all the people invested in him, if you take their wealth and accumulate them together, they're worth $685 billion.
Say what or what? Who?
All the people who are invested in the Reds in the Washington football team, if you take all their wealth and put them together, it accumulates to about $685 billion in portfolio.
Okay.
So
I got that.
I think it's interesting.
You alone?
Yeah, loan, bro. Just give me $1 billion. You ain't gonna miss it.
I know, right? Crazy, bro.
Let's do it
Monopoly
like a
money.
mortgage. When I die, you can have my student loans.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, now it's a big deal. But when he bought the team and people wanted him to change the name, none of his sponsors stood up. It was convenient to be quiet then. So, yay, you're jumping up and down and saying, you got to change. But I would give you kudos 20 years ago. But now you're just falling in line so you can save face. So that's just my opinion on it, bro. I would like to see him take the name the Washington Nationals up.
You said you would like for them to take that name?
I'd like for them to use the name the Washington Nationals.
Oh, use the name? Oh, okay. And why is that, bro?
Because we used to have sports names and franchises that were tied to a city.
To the area, yeah.
Right. Like you had the St. Louis Cardinals baseball and football team, the New York Giants baseball and football team. There are a couple more. I know they're escaping me right now, but now you don't. Everybody's got like a corporate name, or they don't have a name that really is synonymous with that town.
Yeah.
I mean, unless like you look at the Bucks. The Bucks have been in Tampa their whole existence.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it just doesn't. Like if there was the baseball team here went with the Rays, with the Devil Rays originally, then the Rays.
Right. Well, I think these names fit. The Lightning fits. The Devil Rays fit. The Buccaneers fit. If you look at the history of the city, the Gasparilla Parade and all that stuff that preceded the team being here, it makes sense. I get it.
I don't know. I have an affinity for those teams that like baseball and football, or basketball and football that share the same name.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay. All right.
It's like allegiance to that city.
Why don't they go back to but isn't the Senators still available?
But they were never the Senators. That was the baseball team. But yeah, that would be I think that name would still be available.
Yeah. Or well, you can't use the Bullets, but
well, you could, because they're flying around DC.
And they putting bullets flying everywhere, man. But yeah, I mean, listen, that was a good way to kick off the show, bro. That was interesting. I really kind of missed out on that.
If
Just getting,
you look at their history, bro, it's a racial history.
yeah, the name,
I mean,
yes, bro, clearly,
because originally they were the Boston Braves,
right, right.
like the baseball team who was there. Um, and then they became the Boston Redskins when and George Herbert Marshall owned them. Then when he moved to Washington, moved the team to Washington in 1937, he held his stance even until the 60s, I think it was. The 60s, when he said he would never have a black football player on that team. Now,
Yeah, he was the last one to integrate.
yeah, he had to. In Baltimore, they were selling out. You could, in Washington, you could if you couldn't get a ticket for the Baltimore Colts, you could drive down to RFK Stadium even after kickoff and get a seat on the 50-yard line. It was just, it was that bad. It was that bad. Even when your boy Vince Lombardi was coaching, it was just people came to see Vince on the sideline, but it was bad. It was it was bad. But hey, hopefully we're gonna turn the corner. I think it's interesting because Marcus Spears made the statement: if Daniel Snyder had not given in, he foresaw the NFL selling the franchise out from under him. He would get the proceeds, but he would no longer be the owner, like they did Daniel Sterling or Donald Sterling rather, and Marge Schott in baseball. That would have been a very interesting scenario.
Yeah, Marge shot another great owner who showed her true colors. Meanwhile, as we pivot away from those big events, bro, let's talk about this. What is going on? Is it true? Did UFC 251 really do 1.3 million buys?
That's what it seems to be, bro. And I can believe it. What else was happening?
Man, listen, we've been singing that same song and dance with the UFC all summer, bro. It is true.
Off the same formula.
And he's winning, bro. 1.3 million buys. By the way, for all the haters that call it a snooze fest, let me let y'all in on a little something. And this, I don't normally get on my soapbox, but I'm gonna do this just for I feel like it needs to be done, right? If you are not a hardcore MMA fan, please refrain from commenting on the fight. At the same time, when you watch a boxing match, if you're not a hardcore boxing fan, if you're an MMA fan, you just watch boxing casually, please refrain on commenting. Because I saw people saying that, oh, that was the worst fight I ever saw. Usman's a hugger. He didn't do anything. Man, to those people, shut the hell up forever.
Yeah.
And that's me putting it nicely. Okay, I'm done.
Well, Usman had a real interesting reply to that. Usman said, you get in the octagon and fight, and he's put it George Masvidal for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
He said, we trained for this.
Yeah.
He said, I trained to do what I did and
right.
him for 25 minutes. He said he had opportunity to get off the cage sometimes, but he
let him off the cage a few times.
A few times, yes.
Yeah.
But he trained for that fight to make sure he did not get hurt and he kept his title. He said, if you want to do something different, by all means, you get in the octagon with George Masvidal and see if you go 25 minutes. He said that hey, my strategy worked better than his. That was pretty much what he said, and I can't blame him. Listen.
Well, the more interesting part about that is I spoke with somebody today, and they said the same thing. I was like, look, I thought the toe stomping was hilarious. Like, people don't think about when you're in a fight, you're never comfortable. Understand that. The whole purpose of a fight, especially in boxing and MMA, is to fight the fight that I want to fight and for you to not fight the fight that you want to fight. That's how you win most of the times. I'm going to make you as uncomfortable as possible, whether you're doing what I want you to do or whether I got to moving backwards or whether me keeping up a frenetic pace is going to make you uncomfortable. Whatever it is, it's my job to do that and come out of the ring victorious. People were excited about this fight because the last time they saw Kamaru Usman, he was playing whack-a-mole with Colby Covington. And the truth of the matter is, he played whack-a-mole with Colby Covington because to him, that was the easiest way to victory. He didn't give a damn about what the fans thought. To him, it was like, look, I went out in the first round. I felt his strikes. I felt his punches. I'm good. I can take those. I know he's a good wrestler. I'm a better wrestler, but guess what? It'll probably be too much of. It'll probably just be more work for me to try to out wrestle him when we can just stand up and strike, and that's what he did. So these casuals, man, they kill me. And we need the decafs, bro. We need them out there. But stay in your lane when it comes to commenting on what people are doing in the fight because most of y'all ain't even sparred or trained, let alone fought in a real fight like that. So they got to cut that out, man.
No, I mean you need them. They buy these fights, so you just ignore them pretty much because you know they don't know what they're talking about. What gets me is when people who are reporting on these things say the same thing, and that's when it's like, all right, now you really need to shut up. If
And
the
that's the
that's cool,
and
but
that's a lot of truth to that, bro. And that is it. But you can't tell who's who nowadays.
that's true. That's true. I look at it honestly.
I,
If you're in a street fight, you don't care what it looks like. You're not looking for style points. It
right.
translates the same way.
Right.
You're getting paid for this. So
Yeah.
if you're in a street fight, your goal is to go home to your family.
Right.
Unless you
Absolutely.
started the street fight, then you kind of get what you deserve.
Yeah.
But it works the same way. You step on somebody's toe, it makes them feel uncomfortable, like you said, Badger. It takes their mind off of what they want to do to you.
Right.
And that's the goal. If I can get you to slightly take your mind off of what you plan on doing to me, just so I can get what I plan on doing to you in.
Bro, and listen, I thought Masvidal. I kind of replayed some of the things in my head, and I watched a couple of clips today. He had opportunities. I think that I think his gas tank just. I think the weight cut actually hurt him, and we know that he does. Most MMA guys they kind of cut weight in a similar fashion, not like that, but they're not the smartest guys when it comes to cutting weight. Um, and Masvidal knew Masvidal is a fighter through and through, and he didn't quit because I can name a couple of guys in the UFC that would have folded under that pressure,
Yeah,
and we know who they are.
yeah.
Masvidal didn't quit. He deserves credit for that. But there's some dudes out there, some of y'all favorite fighters, that would have found a way to give up. Meaning I'm going to expose my neck to get choked or whatever it is. I want out of this fight. So I give Masvidal all the credit in the world for sticking in there and fighting, man.
Look,
But Usman dominated the fight and made it very uncomfortable.
yeah,
If you've never been against the cage or been in a sparring session when somebody has their chin under your neck like that, and they just grinding their chin under you like that, kind of like how when Rick James grind his feet and Eddie Murphy's couch. Remember that on the Chappelle
ooh,
show?
when they had to beat up his feet, yeah,
Yeah, same thing, right? Usman was grinding his chin. I mean, grinding his head up on the Masvidal's chin. That's uncomfortable, extremely uncomfortable. Then on top of that, he's stomping his toes. Then he's beating him on the thighs. And if anybody ever been punched in the thigh before, that don't feel good. And then he was getting them shots under the ribs. Very uncomfortable fight, man. So look, for the casuals out there, y'all got to get it together, man. Get it
for real.
together.
And look, I've been on the receiving end of some in wrestling. Most heavyweights throw. I was one of the few that would shoot, but my bread and butter was lateral. So in order to get the lateral, I got to get you up just a little off balance. But when somebody else is trying to throw it to you, they're also using their head to try to get your chin up.
Yeah,
That is not comfortable at all.
not at all. And most people have never felt that, so they don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Shouts out to TNK Promotions. Jesus Escalera. What's going on, Tito? Appreciate you checking in with us today, brother.
We appreciate you, Tito, but we'd like it if you put Tito down there. Say it. Don't do that to me. Listen, I still say the only credit I will give Jorge Masvidal is not giving up because that's not in his DNA. But I honestly believe he took that fight because he got the money that he wanted from Dana, and there was nobody else to throw in that fight besides Gilbert Burns. And I wonder if Burns would have done a better job in the fight, but he couldn't because why? He failed COVID. So there was nobody else for them to put in that fight. I mean, you don't really want to throw a Gaethje in there on 4 weeks' notice. I don't think it winds up any better on 4 weeks' notice. So they did what they had to do. Masvidal got paid. He didn't quit. He lives to fight another day.
Yeah, and you don't want to put Gaethje in there because you got Gaethje versus Khabib, which is going to be another big fight, and that's going to happen soon. Listen, man, Dana White got this thing figured out. I'm a little bit salty, so we're going to pivot off that.
Okay,
Check this out, man. What you think about this? Charlo versus Derevchenko for the fall.
love it.
It's going to be a tough fight for Charlo.
Yes,
Derevchenko can box his ass off, bro.
yes, love it.
And he's tough. Derevchenko, some people feel like he beat Triple G.
Yeah,
I listen. Did he beat him? I don't know, but it wasn't easy to tell. I can tell you that much. Triple G, that was, and that fight right there for me was the fight saying, okay, Triple G might be done. He might have hit that age wall, that plateau, because the way Derevchenko was boxing him, man, and Charlo already had trouble with Matt Korobov. Now you bring in Derevchenko, this is gonna be interesting.
I
Big
think
Charlo getting a test here, man.
he'll get a test, but I see him. I see him stopping. I see a stoppage from Charlo. I think Charlo's getting to the point in his career where he's seeing, instead of just thinking, okay, I could just go in and beat everybody. I think he's starting to really sit down and look and see, okay, this is what I need to improve on if I want to keep my title. The best thing that may have happened to him was seeing the younger, the smaller Charlo lose his belt and have to get it back.
I mean, I kind of agree with that, but and listen, I like the Charlo brothers. I think they're good for the sport. My question is this: he still hasn't looked that great. The last time we saw him was against who? A friend of the show, Brandon the Cannon Adams,
Yeah,
a guy that's a much smaller man
yeah,
that should really be fighting at 54. He chose to go up and fight this guy at 60, and he went all 12 rounds with him, all 12, and came out looking pretty good.
yeah. He did.
Now we know Charlo allegedly I think he hurt his hand in that fight or his shoulder. He's just saying some type of injury in that fight, which may or may not have hindered him. But man, Brandon Adams had a good showing of himself. So I think there are chinks in the Charlo armor, and they're just trying to figure out where they at. Now we know PBC loves him and his brother. They're not going to try to get him beat, at least not right now. But this fight is dangerous. You heard it here first.
I'm gonna
Dangerous
let
fight.
the lay fan in on a little secret. You and I already know this, but I don't think a lot of the what do you call them, the decafs?
Decafs. Yep.
I don't think they really understand this. I'm gonna try to put it to them. Even the greatest fighter, unless he's not human or she's not human, they have chinks in their armor.
Yeah. Nobody's perfect.
There's always that elixir, as my
Yeah.
grandfather would call it, is that elixir out there that steps between them ropes and they find something, they're able to do something that no one else is able to do to you.
Yeah.
And I used to say, no, it's crazy because I was a kid. I used to say, Muhammad Ali doesn't have any weaknesses.
Yeah. He had 5 of them. 4 or 5.
Don't have any weakness. Of course, I had to blend wrestling and boxing.
Yeah.
Rose don't have any weaknesses. He said, then why is he no longer the champion?
Right. All facts. Shout out to Pops. What's going on, man, for checking in with us, Pops. Appreciate the love.
Shout out to you. That's what I'm talking about. Tell the
But yeah,
so we said hi too, because you ain't up this late for no reason.
wow. Really, bro?
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
Gotta relax, bro.
I know.
Gotta relax.
I can't even see.
So listen, man, did we see the fights tonight? No, that's tomorrow. We ready for those? The top rank card?
Yes. We got a title fight.
Okay.
Oh man, I don't have my notes open, but we have a title fight. What's his name? Because we were just talking about him last week.
Oh, Jamel. But I think didn't he just get positive again for COVID? I don't know if he's.
They mentioned his name on ESPN today, but I was doing some work and I missed it. I didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah, I think Jamel might be in trouble because that was a title fight, but I think he Let me check on that because I just saw something about that on the social media. But I think Jamel might have tested positive for COVID.
That ain't cool.
Let's see here. I was just looking at that too.
That is not cool. But either way, the fight will be on ESPN,
Yeah,
8 o'clock
yeah.
our Eastern Standard Time, 5 o'clock Pacific. Hey, it's boxing. It's live. You got some hungry fighters going to be on there trying to be seen. You may have seen one of those fighters like a week ago or a month ago. That's the way Bob Arum is rolling right now.
Listen, he is trying to compete with his homie Dana White.
Yeah.
Tweet from Jamel Herring. These tests are 30% faulty. Here's clearly my timeline of when I contracted the virus to the time I came back negative. I even woke up today on weight, ready to go, and even took an antibody test this morning to prove I'm fine, but the commission didn't want to risk it. Wow.
Wow. So he was fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Because his last fight got canceled for the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Seemed like they would test him again.
But this goes back to what we were talking about with all of this stuff. None of it makes sense.
No, no, it doesn't. Well, let's not get into that because we're living in the state that's really choosing not to use any common sense and leadership.
Man,
It's
jeez.
funny, bro. There was somebody on TV earlier. They were talking about how the White House was saying that Fauci was inconsistent, and you know, they were saying, and DeSantis was talking about. They were talking. It was on the Today Show, and they said DeSantis was saying that the numbers are going up because we're testing more people, and they said, yeah, but that wouldn't account for the number of people going to the emergency room. That has nothing to do with the test. The number of people dying, that has nothing to do with the test. But you refusing to look at health over economy, that has everything to do with the test. And you're right. You got people who are, or we don't even know if it's the same batch of tests. You got a lot
Right.
of false positives, a lot of false negatives. But we're also going back to sports on a semi-normal basis.
Yeah, which is all just kind of weird. Um, Here's the deal, man. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because people came on this platform here to talk about combat sports. But I will say this: uh, if you're okay with sports going on right now, and if you're okay with being able to go to a restaurant and pick you up something to eat, then you can't be mad they open the schools back up. Because the same people that make those sporting events possible and those restaurants happen where you can go and enjoy those things, they have kids. And those kids can't stay home by themselves all day. And some working poor people are gonna have a tough decision to make, whether they send their kids out to school or put food on the table. And that is why I have a problem with all of this. None of this makes sense. But I'll digress.
No, you should go a little further.
I mean, I just feel like all this is a part of a greater setup.
Yes,
They've been defunding public schools forever.
yes,
What better time than now?
yes. And they're telling you if you don't open the schools up, we're going to defund you.
Yep.
Problem is, most of the funds don't come from the federal government unless it's for special programs. Oh, they didn't mention that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Programs. Let's look in to see what programs they are. I won't deal with it right now, but just take a look to see what programs in schools are funded by the federal government. Because most of their funds come from state and local government, taxes, initiatives, stuff like that. But they do get certain amounts of money from the federal government.
Right.
What that's for, and then tell me why you think they're going to remove those funds anyway, no matter if schools are open or not.
Man, I don't know. But listen, since we still keeping it up with boxing, I mean, do you want to elaborate a little further, bro? I don't want to cut you off, but I
No, I'm
just,
good. I'm good.
okay. Yeah, it just it gets to be a bit, man, after a while. And the sad thing about it is we will say this, and at the same time you be like, man, people just need an outlet. People need a way to kind of release. And unfortunately, sports is that too. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy. I don't know.
I will say, in closing on this subject, I was watching a show called The Road Less Traveled on the Wealth Channel, and he went to Venice, and they have some islands that they used in Venice when the Black Plague or the bubonic plague came through, and he was going through, and they were talking about those stories, how they would ship people to these islands, and if you were alive after 40 days, then you could come back.
Right.
Nobody came back. That was their measuring stick, and they talked about how many people they were losing, like 500 a day during the plague.
That's wild.
And you start looking at what's going on now, and it's like, then they didn't know what was going on. They thought it was God throwing a wrath on them. They didn't know what it was.
Right.
We know what it is, but we refuse to stay put and not spread it.
Yeah.
We're the most entitled, selfish country.
Oh yeah. And now, if I'm not mistaken, they just shut California back down today.
They're getting ready. I heard them talking about it. I didn't know if they had gone
Yeah.
through. They put a 10 p.m. curfew in place.
Yeah.
But
Wild.
I mean, listen, we're gonna be. It's gonna. The funny thing is, we're gonna go to blows, and shots will be fired when they try to shut us down again, because we have just enough ignorant people who feel like they're entitled to do whatever they want to do because of how they were raised. So when they declare martial law, those of us that were doing what we were supposed to do are going to get the brunt of it because of the idiots who are too selfish and stupid. And those two go hand in hand. To do what we're supposed to do and not spread a disease we still don't know clearly about. But we do know that we spread it through contact, and sometimes it's airborne. But if you stay a good distance away, or if you only go out for necessities, the beach is not a necessity. Mickey Mouse is not a necessity, but WWE is, I guess. But if you only go out for necessities and you keep yourself at home, you can help a whole lot of people, including yourself. I'm done, bro.
It's all good. So back to boxing. Jorge Linares versus Javier Fortuna set in August. Interesting fight. You have, if I'm not mistaken, Linares. I don't know where he's from, but Fortuna is a Dominican.
Yeah.
We know how the Dominicans come ready to fight. Fortuna, he is El Jabón. So I guess he's a little bumblebee. Is that what he calls himself? He fights like one.
Yeah.
There's nothing real technically savvy about Javier Fortuna in the way he fights. I like Fortuna. I like his attitude. I like Linares. He showed a lot of mustard, a lot of grit against Aloma. Put him on his butt. It's going to be a good fight, man. A good competitive fight. A true 50-50 fight, just because Fortuna is just like almost like a whirling dervish. He's just whatever it takes to win is kind of what he does. We seen him against Robert Easter when he got that loss that we clearly thought that he might have won that fight.
Yeah, we did.
He might have won that fight. So to see him against Jorge Linares, man, I'm excited about that. And that's coming up around the corner in August. So these some pretty good fights getting made right now.
Look, one
pretty
thing
good fights getting made.
With Fortuna, when the bell rings, he coming out swinging.
Yeah, he is.
Coming out
Yeah, but bro, that is most Dominican fighters.
Hey, quick question. Has a Dominican fighter been paired up with a Haitian fighter anytime recently?
You ass. Nah, I don't know. That would be quite the civil war.
Yes.
I don't know of any yet, but Jason Rosario is the champ at 154 pounds. Erickson Lubin is there. Maybe that fight will happen sooner than later. We never know. But nah, not that I can recollect. I mean, we got two friends of the show. Okay, the last time I saw a Haitian and Dominican matched up was Silky Wilkie against the the green-eyed bandit, Will Montero. And we know how that ended.
Yeah, Will winning the commentator.
Exactly. So, shots out to Will and shots out to Silky. But that was the last time I knew of a Haitian and the Dominican getting it on. So, hey.
How about that? Well, Will also fought Sherman.
Bro, don't put the man business out there like that.
What? Right.
That was hey, listen, that was a great fight.
I gotta find that clip. I still got that video. We need,
I'm sure you do.
might need to
And listen, we're gonna let them know we're gonna put it on the show and have them come on and talk about it.
because Will came up with every reason why, and then Sherman was like, "I beat him." Like, but Sherman, I beat him. He just kept saying it to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, you knew you were starting off wrong. If you standing outside smoking right before you start the fight,
That's some DC shit. That's y'all. That's your homeboy. That's your homeboy. Own that one. Own that one. Slim. Own that one.
look,
Own that one, bro.
I'm gonna come back at you in some words you understand. Look at here.
Oh, okay. That sound about right. That sound about right. I
I
can
gotta
dig
let
it.
grown people be grown people. But
I
I can't
guess.
wait for that Fortuna Linares fight, man. That
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm looking. If anybody can tell us the next scheduled fight for Angie Overkill Hill, I think there's one coming up in
I
this week, or is it?
I don't know. And the crazy part is I follow on social media, but they limit what the post that you see so much that by the time you see it, it's like 24 hours old already. So I don't know. I haven't seen her post anything.
She posted something a couple weeks ago about a fight, and I haven't seen anything else since then. I mean, I've actually gone to her IG page, and I haven't really found anything about that. And that we like to follow her because she really does come to fight.
Oh yeah, and she's the minority. There's not many black females in the MMA and the UFC level anyway, so we always got to keep a shots out and an eye on her most definitely.
Definitely.
So what do you think about the next potential fight for your boy, for our boy, Peter Yan or Petri Yan? I'm still trying to figure out how to pronounce that, but you know
And
who I'm
then
talking
somebody
about.
said purely
The
on.
Russian.
Yeah, yeah.
What you think? Who you got?
He called somebody out. He said that Aljamain Sterling deserves the next shot. And Dana White said no, he wouldn't commit to that.
Why would he not commit to that?
I think Sterling has been outspoken about some things.
Man, listen, I follow the Funk Master MMA on social media. I like the kid, man. Give the kid a shot.
Dana
Give the
White
kid a
said
shot.
he has to worry about Wednesday and the fights, the remaining fights on Fight Island, and he wouldn't commit to saying that Aljamain Sterling, even though Jan said Aljamain Sterling
Yeah,
deserves.
Jan said it. Yeah, he was like, I think that's who deserves the next fight.
Yeah, and I would go with that.
Exciting fight. Stylistically, a great
Yeah,
fight.
yeah.
Athletic, jiu-jitsu player, slick, against a straightforward destroyer. I like that. Something gonna happen to somebody. Somebody gonna get submitted or somebody gonna get knocked out. So I'm with it.
Listen,
And not to mention, I bet against Aljamain Sterling. If you're watching, I apologize, brother. I bet against him. I thought Corey Sandhagen was going to take him out, and little did I know, Sterling had other plans and choked him out in the first round. Took his back, and it was over with.
Yeah.
So man, shots out to Aljamain Sterling, man. It ain't gonna be the easy against Petri, Peter, or whatever, Jan. But it should be a great fight. So I hope they can pull the trigger on that and make that happen in the UFC. That'd be a dope fight.
listen. Angela Overkill Hill is supposed to fight somebody with the last name of Waterson.
Oh, the Korean is it the Korean hottie? Is that her name? Michelle Watterson? Is that her?
I think so. Yeah.
I might be butchering her handle. It might not be the Korean hottie, but yeah.
On August 22nd, but I don't know
Okay.
if it's in UFC because they say go to MMAfights.com for details.
Right.
So I guess I better go there. But yeah, that's interesting.
I like that fight, man.
Yeah, yeah,
I like that fight because Michelle Watterson can fight.
yeah.
She can fight. I've seen her a few times. She can fight. So I like that fight for Angela. Because Angela don't got a lot of thunder. You know, she ain't got a lot of lumber in them hands, but she come to fight and she gonna stay in the fight and she gonna fight as long as she can. So I like that fight. I think that fight will do well.
Yeah, she really needs a good one to get her over.
Cause well, and then cause I think she won over a lot of fans because people thought that she was robbed in her last fight.
And she was.
Yeah, I mean that was the consensus. I missed it, but based on what you said and based on what I saw from the fans, that's kind of the going theme too. I'm gonna go back and watch that fight now, man. I got time. I know it's on the platform. I'm gonna go check that out.
Trust me, it's worth it.
Okay.
It's worth it. I don't see the fight on MMAfights.com. So I'll keep my eyes out. Well, both of them. See, because it's not that good. But
Yeah.
I'll keep looking out and see, what I can find about the Angela Hill fight. Because I'm looking forward to seeing her get back in the octagon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. It only makes sense.
Listen, I know we got a couple more fights on Fight Island, but I'm excited about August 15th.
Listen, I was having a discussion about that. Listen, today in the gym, we were excited about UFC 251, right? We was all waiting on
Uh-huh.
Usman and Masvidal. Now that's history. Now we turn the page forward and we looking forward to who?
Cormier versus Miocic.
Ooh, and listen to me. It's going to be a glorious day and a sad day all at the same time.
Yes. Yes. Tell us why, Reverend.
It's going to be a sad day, man, because we're going to witness a great fight.
Yeah.
They come to get it in blood, both of these men.
Hmm.
Sadly, once the fight is over, that is the last we will see of both of them. They will ride off into the sunset with fat pockets and dreams of grandeur that do not include getting punched in the face for a living.
I know Cormier is leaving, but are you convinced that Miocic is leaving?
I think Stipe's out of here, man. What? First of all, look what it's taking to get him back in the ring now a year later
Yeah. With the title.
with the belt. He's already beat the next best guy that they're going to try to put him in there with. Beat him pretty handily and will do it again. I'm
Yeah.
convinced.
Yeah.
I'm not buying a hype on Francis Ngannou beating a guy that can actually fight.
No.
He lose to DC is one of the greatest fight trilogies in all of combat sports history because it was three very close fights. And they were all, well, not, I wouldn't say close, but they were all very dramatic in the way they ended.
That first one was not close.
The first fight, the elbow, we didn't see that coming. The second fight, we saw the ending coming before it happened. We
Yeah.
saw Cormier start to slow down. We saw Stipe start to walk him down and just break him down in body shots, and it was over with.
Yeah.
So, listen, what better way to do it than run it back for the rubber match? The third time's a charm,
Here's
and
why
then both y'all right off in the sunset, man.
here's why I agree with you that Miocic will leave, but why I don't think it may be such a great fight. Because when a fighter finds complete fulfillment in something outside of the sport, it's hard to dedicate your life back to fighting. This
I
man
get what you're saying.
is being a firefighter.
Yep, civil servant. He loves it. He
That is
does,
his love.
and he's a great man for it. Props
Right.
to him.
Now, you're talking about getting your mind, forget your body. We can talk about that later. But getting your mind centered on possibly coming out of there severely damaged. Now, your whole mindset during this COVID crisis and before that was helping people, saving people. You're financially at the point where you don't have to do this. So it's very dangerous to take somebody whose life is about service and try to put that dog back in them, if any of it's left, and say, okay, now you got to go get your mind in shape, get your body in shape. You got to get in there with somebody who beat you previously. Yeah, you were fortunate enough that he wore down because he was beating you in that second fight.
Yeah.
So now it's like you don't want to be in there anyway. You're going to retire after the fight. So in your mind, you're like, why am I doing this? What if I'm? He's a simple man. Simple meaning good, meaning he doesn't need a lavish lifestyle. He's got everything he wants financially. He's got everything he wants socially. He's got a family. He's got a career. that does not involve boxing or MMA, does not involve getting hit in the face. Cormier wants to go out on top of champion. He knows no matter what, he's done. He's got a career in broadcasting, win or lose. He's done. He's got a school that he's coaching at. He's helping bring MMA fighters along. He's giving back. That's just been his MO. He's comfortable going back to Louisiana and just hanging out, doing his thing. But there's one thing that eats at him. He had that fight won. That's why he's getting in the ring. If Miocic had retired, Cormier wouldn't have fought anybody else. He wouldn't have come back. I just, in my heart, I don't think he would have come back. He didn't need to fight Ngannou. He didn't need to fight anybody else. His legacy set. 205 champion, heavyweight champion. His legacy set. Except he didn't beat John Jones. But he's good with that now.
Yeah, he's made peace with that. But here's why I disagree with you, bro. It's the last hurrah. Give it all you got, cause you ain't got no more to give. I just think that Cormier is the type of guy. I mean, not Cormier. I'm sorry. I think Stipe is the kind of guy who has a high moral ceiling. I think he's probably made some commitments to his family and to his brothers in the fire department, as he should. But I think he is a man of conviction, and I think he's gonna give it all he got because this is the last one. He knows it's the last one, and he's comfortable not even looking back. So I can see him putting it all on the line right now, man, because, hey, after this, I am done forever. I'm closing this chapter of my life, and I'm on to bigger and better things. So I think that is the exact reason why this will be a great fight, because you're going to leave it all out there. Ain't no more rematches, ain't no more prospects, ain't no more paydays. It's over from here. So go out with a bang.
If he gets knocked out in the first round, second, third, fourth, fifth, or loses a decision, he's going to feel the same way about the fight. As long as he can walk upright, his brain is functioning, he's going to feel the same way about the fight. He doesn't have to win it. Cormier has to win it. And that's why I was saying, if I'm Stipe, I'm real careful about taking this fight.
You don't think
I didn't say he didn't want to win it. I don't say that he won't go in there aiming to win it. His legacy is set among his circle. 2-time heavyweight champion, defended it more times than anybody else in the heavyweight division.
for sure.
American hero.
That's for sure. I'm giving you all that.
And he got a Modelo commercial.
I'm giving you all that. And he's an Ohio boy, middle America, hardworking, Scrabble, all that good stuff.
I didn't say he was gonna lay down. He gonna bring the fight. He gonna bring the crime to him. I agree with that. I just don't know if he has that dog that took to win that fight, to win that second fight. We're gonna see. That's my only objection. But we're gonna see. And I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna be sitting there. And this time, I will have the crab meat pizza. I will be watching that fight with the crab meat pizza.
Can we agree? Okay, can we agree that these two guys? This is the trip. This is the historical matchup.
Yes. Yes.
Because you can't do it with Cormier and Jones because he lost two, and he lost two unconsciously.
Yeah.
But this one, this is special. It has all the dynamics that you want. I think for the UFC, this is, and don't hang me when I say this, but this is their Ali Frazier moment.
Yes. You can say Ali Frazier. You can say Bo Holyfield. You can say, listen, this is the last heavyweight championship main event for a long time in the UFC. There are no worthy heavyweights below them. I'm sorry. Maybe there's somebody coming up we haven't seen yet, but every heavyweight that I've seen, Francis will hold on to the belt for a while because the skill level is just trash at this point.
And you know what's funny about that? Do you find, and this is just something to think about, Do you find it interesting that we say they have the same parallel in boxing? Like boxing's heavyweight division is 2 or 3 deep. Legitimately.
That's it.
Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. I think you will get a consensus from all boxing fans that nobody outside those three can beat those three. I think Andrew Ruiz is somewhat of a dark horse, but we can't take him seriously because he didn't take himself seriously.
And unfortunately for Ortiz, he was signed to Eddie Hearn, so he didn't get a chance to fight anybody but Wilder.
Yeah. And the COVID was the worst thing to happen to him because it's just going to speed up the aging process.
Yeah. Did he? Oh, he caught it.
No, he didn't. But no. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
you already weren't a big draw.
Right.
The hardcore fans appreciated you. The Cuban fans, the Hispanic crowd appreciated you, but you're not a draw like that. So no one's clamoring to see you fight anyway. And who would you fight? You know what I'm saying? Joshua's got a dance partner. Wilder and Fury done hooked horns, and Wilder's beating you twice in dramatic fashion.
Yeah.
So this was the worst thing that could have happened to Luis Ortiz. But back to my bigger point, though, I think we're seeing that in both sports. I think both sports are kind of very heavy. They're very top heavy. No pun intended, in the heavyweight division. 2 or 3 guys, and after that, you got nothing.
UFC won't be top heavy after the 15th of August.
Well, yeah, after those two walk off into the sunset, it's a wrap. It's curtains for that.
I mean, there's really nobody else you want to see. I mean, Francis is probably going to knock out the people under him.
That's not going to sell, though.
No,
Yeah.
right. Those are
Yeah.
going to be UFC fight nights.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the Ultimate Fighter. It's not. It's not going to be worthy of a pay per view unless it's like the second or third championship fight under somebody. I could see the heavyweights, and you never would have thought this coming. The heavyweights would be behind a Shevchenko or the oh my goodness, what is her name? Not Shevchenko, the champion.
Nunes?
No. Well, yeah, obviously, I think the heavyweights would be behind Nunez versus anybody else.
Oh,
Or Namajunas. Wailing versus Namajunas.
Yeah.
That fight would dwarf any heavyweight fight after this.
Yeah.
It's going to be a sad day for that. And that's why they want John Jones to come up and fight in Gotham.
Yep.
Because they got nobody else.
They got nobody else. Yep.
So, I mean, if you're a heavyweight, UFC heavyweight fighter out there, or if you're on your way to the UFC and you're a heavyweight and you believe you're the next great thing, at Got Brew or at the Badger LMC, we want to know who you are. We want to follow you to see if you're legit, because we really believe that when Miocic and Cormier leave, the heavyweight division is completely decimated. That's sad that the top 2 guys are holding your heavyweight division together. And one used to be at 205 until he said, you know what? I cannot put these cookies down. I got to stay at heavyweight.
Or the crawdads and everything else that you're not there in Louisiana.
Yeah, listen, crawfish and some beignets, I understand.
Listen, I mess them up too, bro. I love beignets, by the way. Shouts out New Orleans. But yeah, bro, it is what it is, man. Yeah. What time is it, man?
Ooh. Wow. Okay. 11:48. Almost 11:49. Wow. Man, my mind's been on boxing and fighting. I got a story for you.
Okay.
I don't know if you're going to like it. But
I don't like any of your stories, bro. So this is
happened before.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if I like it or not. It's your time to shine.
I was looking online and they were showing where your boy, your homie, the guy that finally got you to put a bumper sticker on the back of your hat, Donald Trump.
Okay.
Came to, you know they don't like him in Maryland, but he decided to go to Baltimore and he was going to sit in with a 4th grade class. He was sitting with a 4th grade class and he was going to help teach them. And he said, now, I want you to give me an example of a tragedy. One little girl said, if a plane crashed, that would be a tragedy. He said, no, 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 no. That would be an accident, but that would not be a tragedy. So another little boy raised his hand. He said, okay, what if a bus full of children ran off the road into the water? He said, oh, that would be horrific, but it wouldn't be a tragedy. So Johnny threw his hand up. Trump said, all right, little boy, let's see if you can give me a definition of a tragedy. And Johnny said, if you were in a plane and you were shot down by friendly fire and went up in flames. He said, yes, that would be a tragedy. He said, yeah, it'd have to be a tragedy because it wouldn't be horrific and it sure wouldn't be an accident. I, Baltimore. What you gonna say? What you gonna say? It's Baltimore.
Maryland.
Maryland. Hey, that's right.
Hey, look, can't say it. I don't love you. I gave you time to shine, and you stunk it up with that. But hey, it's all good.
Whatever. 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 You don't say people always. It is Maryland, and I'm mad that St. Louis took our slang. I'm
Is
trying to.
that so? So now you're finna start a beef with people in St. Louis?
No, not at all. Not at
Oh,
all.
okay.
Not at all. At least they didn't take our seafood. They stuck with their barbecue.
And that ain't that good either.
Yeah. Now you starting to start trying to start a beef with people in St.
Hey,
Louis.
listen, I'm just saying. I mean, it's all right. I done been to Kansas City. It's all right.
Ooh, now you confusing the two?
Nah, both of them MO. It was all right. Nah, I ain't saying they're alike, but I had Kansas City, Missouri barbecue, and it wasn't what they it wasn't. Hey man, I'm just saying. And
Send comments to at the Badger LMC.
please do because I will tell you this. I'm a Southern guy. We barbecue in the South. I don't know what y'all do in the Midwest. It sound good. I don't know.
Before we get out of here, I do have a bone to pick with people talking about removing these statues of the Confederate soldiers and generals is removing their history. Two thoughts on that. One, I don't think they should remove them because I think the black marks, no pun intended, on our country should remain. So our kids ask about them and we can give them that oral history. But for those of you who are making the point that it's removing your history, no, because those statues were erected either during Jim Crow times or during the movement of Dr. King. Some of them were put up in the 20s as well. So these weren't statues that had been there. These were things that you erected to remind black people that you're still in the South. So has nothing to do with history. It's another crazy bandwagon that you're jumping on to make yourselves feel better about the statues and make yourselves think that, hey, we're losing something else to the black people and the liberals. No, you're not. No, you're not. Those statues were there probably your parents outlived those statues. So don't even say that it's part of your long history, your Confederate history. It's not. Sorry, bro. I meant to bring that up the other day.
Hey man, touche. You get no pushback from me on that. Shouts out to Valentin Diaz. He said something in Spanish. Can we say or can we talk about or something? My translation's terrible, Valentin, but shouts out to you for checking us out, man. Like, share, subscribe, and let everybody that you know notice where they can find us every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the Friday Show Report every Wednesday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So shouts out to you, Valentin.
Hola, mi amigo. ¿Cómo
There you
está?
go. There you go. There you go. That's Maryland talking to you. That's that Maryland Spanish. It's all good, bro.
You
It's
know the
all good.
sad thing is, I didn't know Maryland was famous for fried chicken until I left Maryland.
I mean, okay, bro. We get it. Maryland fried chicken. It's all
No,
good.
I'm serious. I did not know that they were famous for fried chicken.
Me neither, and I still don't. So what's your point? Stick to crab cakes, buddy.
Buddy, buddy, buddy. Don't
Buddy.
be like that, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Don't be like that. And we're taking somebody else off.
Yeah, we gotta relax. We gotta chill. We gotta chill. My bad. All right, what else you got, bro?
Bro, I don't have anything else, man. I can't wait for tomorrow night show. We got an interview lined up tomorrow. I do kind of want to introduce that one though, if you give me a second. He's a young man, um, Jay Peeps. He has his own podcast, and we really support other people who are doing it the right way. It's called the Running Gun Podcast. He's coming on tomorrow to kind of talk about that himself and his direction. Um, Looking forward to it. I'm glad the Badger was interested in bringing him on as well, and I think you guys are gonna like him. So get the word out. The J Peeps from the Running Gun Podcast will be here with us tomorrow, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be back again on Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you who like the segmented show that we originally started, that's the Fighter Share Report. Every Sunday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Now,
Listen, man, I'll do it for him. Shouts out to his wife. Shouts out to his parents
no.
and his little girl.
Shout out to my wife, my daughter, my mom, pops, who was on here. You know what? My wife and my daughter keep me going. My mom shares her wisdom with me. And my dad keeps me smiling, keeps me laughing, cracking up. So God has put the right people around me. Shout out to you too, Badger.
Hey, man. Well spoken, bro. I almost felt a little sentiment just then.
No, you didn't.
I
That was
didn't.
gas.
I didn't.
What's on your TV?
Oh, that's just my boy Scott Lang, aka Ant Man, doing his thing. Listen, man, for y'all that don't know, I'm a Marvel nerd. So every time we come on, I'm gonna have something different on the screen back there, so y'all can like, comment, and talk about that too. Marvel's my thing. I'm a comic book nerd. So if you want to talk about comics, you want me to shut you down about that, jump on this here podcast and jump in these comments and say something disrespectful, and watch how I straighten you. Whatever.
That's that theory.
Whatever. Anyway, man.
We'll test that theory. He really is a nerd, though. I know it doesn't seem like it, but sometimes people grow into their size. But he really is a nerd.
And have you grown into your size, my friend?
Nope, I'm growing away from my size.
Listen, man, shouts out to everybody for tuning in with us and rocking with us tonight, man. Shouts out to Jose, Jesus, Escalera, TNK Promotions. Shout out to Mr. Kenneth Clark. Our new friend, Valentin Diaz. We don't know where you from, bro, but appreciate you for rolling with us, man. Everybody out in the trenches, all the entrepreneurs, everybody in the struggle, man. Keep your head up, keep pushing. Make sure you checking on your loved ones. Tap in with your people that need you. Shift MMA. That's where I'm at. You can find me there almost every day getting worked. Other than that, Fighter Share Report, Fighter Share Nation, the Beatdown. That's all we got. We'll holler at y'all. Peace.